Hi, good morning. Happy Monday, everybody. Welcome back to the Kristin Omdahl Show. This is episode 925, and we are here live in Southwest Florida at the beach today. If you are joining me live, please say hello. If you end up watching the recorded version, please also feel welcome to say hello. I know most of you end up watching the recorded version, even though there are many people that do watch live with me too, which is so fun. If you ever get a chance, it is super fun. Hi, Joe. I better put my glasses on. I thought they were clean. Are they clean? Yeah. Hi, Joe, Lori, Naomi, Thea, Judy, Lisa. Good morning. Happy Monday, everybody. Hi, Lily and Julie. Good morning. Hope you had a great weekend. Let me know if you've been crafting. Hi, Doris. Let me know if you have questions for me. If I can answer them, I will. Good morning, Grace. How's everybody doing today? Hope you're having a great day so far. I'm at the beach. This is the beautiful Gulf of Mexico behind me. How pretty is this? There's a giant tree stump next to me. I think it's taller than me. I'll show you around in a minute. Oh, and by the way, there is a different set of colors on the flags today, although not on the flag right next to me, but the flags further down the beach. They're green and purple today. Oh, we can actually look at the sign. Hold on, let's go look at the sign. Because even though I can't show you the green and purple flags, I can certainly show you what they mean. So the flags are always red right here, and I'm at parking area 5, which means I'm close to the inlet, which means I think that there's always a strong current here. But just so you know, the flags further down the beach are green and purple today. So let's read what green and purple mean. We have stinging marine life. Excuse me. And this was the case last week too, but I didn't get a chance to show it to you. Yeah, so green means the water is low hazard for undercurrent, I would imagine. But stinging marine life is the warning today. So I thought you would just like to see that variation. And then here's that big tree stump I was telling you about a minute ago. Looks like a fisherman just walked by. There was no one sitting here when I first got here. I missed that. Anyway, pretty cool. I stood in front of that tree stump one day for a photo shoot. And here is our beloved driftwood forest, which I'm not quite sitting in today. And oh, see the beach? Beyond the driftwood forest, that's Barefoot Beach Preserve where we walked last week. So cool, right? We'll walk down there another day. I'm not going to do it today. I have something else to share with you today. So we'll leave that, but we can take a look around the beach for sure. Look how clear the water is too. Water's nice and clear today. Very inviting. I'm not going to go in today. I may surprise you with going in one of these days though. I have a couple tricks up my sleeve, so to speak. I have an idea to, anyway, we'll talk about that another day. All right, we'll turn the camera back around. See if we can get this level again. And for those of you that are asking about what I'm wearing the Kelly earrings today. Beautiful crochet pattern with Be So Fine tidbit yarn and some hoop earrings. And then I'm also wearing a DIY crochet on fabric project with a plain old store-bought t-shirt where I cut out the neckband and cut out some of the yoke and crocheted right onto the raw edge of the fabric. You can find patterns, tutorials, and yarn for both of these projects on my website. And the, what was I gonna say? They both feature Be So Fine tidbit yarn, which is the smaller version of Be So Fine yarn. So it's about 200 yards, retails for about $10. It's #1 fingering weight bamboo yarn. It's absolutely fabulous for making smaller projects like jewelry, crochet on fabric projects, skinny scarves, so many different things you can make with smaller bits of yarn like that. And also great for doing color work. I've done several shawls over the years using the smaller portions of Be So Fine yarn so that because the full-size balls are 650 yards, which is an awful lot of yarn if you're going to do color work. So having 200-yard balls is really fantastic if you want to combine 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6 colors for doing different types of color work or shawls. And a lot more affordable that way. If you have questions about that, please let me know. Otherwise, thank you, Judy, for sharing links for the things that I'm talking about. I totally appreciate it. If you didn't get a chance over the weekend, if you are unplugged and weren't on YouTube at all over the weekend, I did share 2 videos for the Layla crochet shawl, stitch sampler shawl. I shared a video that was an excerpt from Friday's show showing you how to do that interwoven scarf tying technique. And then I did a second video extracting all of the different ways that I showed how to do it. So it's about 8 different ways. I believe there's even more, but let's suffice to say that I showed 8 different ways to style it. And so you can find both those videos here on YouTube. There will be a tutorial video for the stitches coming as well. But in the meantime, I thought it would be really fun to extract some of that juicy information from the show. I know it's hard to remember, especially what are we, 925 episodes at this point. How are you ever going to remember when I did a tutorial on the show? So whenever possible, I am trying to, you know, when you know better, you do better, all that good stuff. I'm trying to extract the tutorial information from the show and create proper videos out of them so it's easier for you to find. And here's some homework, if anybody wants to make requests for different episodes of the show where I did tutorials and didn't extract it, let me know, and didn't extract like good tutorial segments, let me know and I can create videos out of it to make it that much easier for you to find. Just, you know, just let me know. Anyway, what else? What else? I worked a lot on samples over the weekend. I've got lots of new fun patterns coming soon. Yay! And there's so many wonderful patterns that I have right now. So if you're looking to make something now, my gosh, I've got hundreds and hundreds of options. You just have to use the filtering system on my website to figure out what you're looking for. And if you aren't sure if you can find something, just ask. If I can help you, I will. I have a pretty decent memory when it comes to my design, so, or I definitely have a great memory when it comes to navigating my website, so if you need help, just let me know. If you think that I am lacking tutorial videos on navigating my website, if there are any nuances that you need help with, just let me know, because the thing is, when you are the creator of things, sometimes it's hard to wrap your head around when something's not something that you created, right? So to get that separate point of view from people on the outside, sometimes I just need a little nudge in the right direction to say, hey, I think a tutorial for this would be helpful or that would be helpful. Just let me know. If it's something I can do, I probably will. Thank you all so much for taking time out of your busy day to spend a few minutes here with me. I really appreciate it. So glad you could be here. I hope you're enjoying the water, the sound of the waves. They're a little loud today, even though it looks calm. It's got a nice sound to it, so that's awesome. I am going to show you a tutorial on the Laurel Baby Blanket /shawl /shrug today. I decided that I was going to show you how to, not only how to sew up the sleeves to turn this into a shrug, but also how to figure out the size for yourself. So first of all, this is a giant square that could be used as a baby blanket or folded in half to make a triangular shawl that's tiered, and I've shown you how to do both of those before. So today I wanted to show you how to figure out the size for yourself to make this a shrug and how to sew it together. If you wanted to make this only temporarily put together as a shrug so that you could still use it as a blanket and a shawl, you would want to make crochet chains and corset tie them, kind of like you would tie shoelaces. But I think that I'm going to wear it pretty much exclusively as a shrug, so I decided I'm going to sew it permanently this morning. But again, I've shown both ways many times before. If you want to be able to use it in the variety of ways, don't sew it permanently, sew it temporarily with corset ties. However, the tips that I'm going to show you for sizing it are universal and the same regardless. This is the Laurel Baby Blanket /shrug /shawl, depending on how you want to use it. It is a giant square that's work bias. It's a 3-ball project in Be So Vivid yarn, and this beautiful colorway is called Moon Mist. So if you're going to make it into a shrug, the first thing that I would suggest is to fold it in half. I'd say lengthwise, but it's a square, so it doesn't matter which way you fold it in half. But I've folded it in half, and I've taken some of our split ring stitch markers and attached them in the corners, okay? So then I just eyeballed about a foot from each of those corners and secured a second set of stitch markers a foot in from the corner. This is just a guesstimate. Once I try it on, I'm going to be able to determine whether or not that's a good spot. Whether or not that's a good spot, or I need to make it tighter or looser. So now I'll put it on with my makeshift sleeves. Okay? And I'm thinking that that's probably not tight enough. So I think I might go in another 3 inches on each side. Can you see what I'm doing here? So I'm going to pull this out. Ideally, you would want to bring 2 more stitch markers so you could attach the next one without taking that one off, but I'll eyeball it. I'll be okay. And then I'll do that again on this side. So I'm going to eyeball about 3 inches again. And if you wanted to be more precise, count how many stitches up you moved both pieces. Okay, let's see where this is now. Okay, it's a little tighter. I like that much better. And now I'll have more pronounced sleeves as well. Okay, so now that I have them pinched, I'm going to take it off and double check that they're exactly even. Because if they're not, I might adjust one more time before sewing. I have a feeling one of them's a little tighter than the other, and I like the looser of the two, if that's the case. And it is most certainly the case. I eyeballed a little off, so I'm going to move. Here, I'm going to move the camera down now so you can start seeing what I'm doing, because the rest of this will be down in my lap. Is that a pretty good, can somebody tell me if that's a good view? Because I'm not going to be able to look at the camera once I get started here. I could probably move this like that. Yay or nay? Okay, thanks, Judy. All right, so now I'm going to set this down so you can, uh-oh, did I just drop I dropped my needle. Are you kidding me? Talk about needle in a haystack. Oh, boy, am I lucky. How lucky am I? I just found my needle. Wow. Okay. Okay, so now I notice that I didn't do them exactly even. Here's my 2 sets of corners, and here's, I'm off by, well, not off by much. I'm off by 2 stitches. Whoop-de-doo. But still, this is a great time to check before you start sewing, because like I said, I'm going to sew this permanently. If you wanted to do this, you know, temporarily by corset tying with a chain, you absolutely could, so that you wouldn't be limited to just the shrug. But I've decided I really want to just wear it as a shrug. I'm probably not going to use the other options. So I'm going to take a piece of yarn, cut a decent length of it. Okay, and now I'm going to trust my measurements here and open this up. Still in camera, everybody happy with this still? I think we're still good. So I'm going to start at the corner here. Now I happen to not have extra yarn of this color available. I used up all 3 balls making this, and I didn't want to dip into a ball, so I just took a complementary color from my stash yarn, which will be fine for doing this. And I'm just going to go in and out of 1 stitch at a time each side, and you'll see this will end up being invisible anyway. And I'm just going to go one for one stitch and then 1 stitch. Are we still on camera? Can you see what I'm doing? I can see I'm gonna look at the comments for 1 second here to make sure. Everybody happy with this view? I'm gonna wait until I see a yay or nay. Is this a good view? Okay, great, thank you. All right, so we'll go back down to stitching. I'm just going in and out, one for one. And we'll sew all the way up to our next stitch marker. Pretty easy, right? Once you try it on and use that as your trying things on with stitch markers, split ring stitch markers is such an amazing way to custom fit things. If you're unsure, like if you're making a garment and you're unsure where to put the armholes, you could also test that. If you're trying something on and you're unsure of how wide you want your neckband to be, definitely try it on with stitch markers. I do this all the time when trying to figure out what I want something to look like. Anytime you are piecing things together, top-down construction's a little different, but then again, with top-down construction, you can try things on as you go anyway, so it's still that's still great too. But anytime you're making things in pieces and you're unsure of where to place an armhole or a sleeve seam or something of this nature, or side vents, securing things with stitch markers temporarily, and it only works if you're using split ring stitch markers, but that's why I so strongly believe in split ring stitch markers, because not only do they then benefit knitting and crochet, so you don't need 2 sets of stitch markers, which is just more things to store and remember where they're at, but also they can be used as other types of tools like this for styling things, or not for styling, for draping. Oh, what do you call it? You call it something different in fashion design and sewing. Anyway, but to be able to temporarily try things on, they are the easiest tool to do this. And the best part, they're a tool you already have. So a tool that has multiple purposes, in my opinion, is the best kind of tool to have. And the split ring stitch markers that I sell come in a color-coded set, which is rainbow, and who doesn't love rainbow? But it means that you have the ability to mark things for different reasons within the same project, which I think is also absolutely fabulous. Like, let's say you want to mark something for different parts of a project. You want to mark a placement for a hem, a placement for a sleeve, a placement for ties or buttonholes, or mark the beginning of a round versus the beginning of a repeat of a stitch pattern, or the beginning and end of something. Like, there's so many different types of things that you sometimes want reminders for in a project, that having color-coded stitch markers is even that much more helpful. Like, so my stitch markers have so many different dual purposes that I think that they are amazing. And the price, I'm sure Judy's posted a link to them. If you want a set, I have them very reasonably priced on my website. And like everything else on my website, you get reward points for every purchase. So, okay, so now once we pull this tight from the beginning to the end, you can't even see the seam. So, I mean, talk about being a no-brainer. For even as long as you pick a complementary color, you absolutely do not have to match your yarn. Oh, this is an example of what I was talking about last week about weaving in loose ends too. Remember how I said anytime you can weave in your loose ends around a seam, it's that much easier to do because you have the bulk. So look at the wrong side of our work now. The type of seam that I did gives us this raised edge, which is a little bit more dense of a stitch. And look at how fantastic this is for weaving in our loose ends, because with all that extra density on the wrong side, there's no way this is going to show through to the front. As long as I try to keep my weaving in that dense section, it will not show on the right side of the work. It's just that much easier. And we like easy, right? Okay, so I wove it back and forth several times. This is always unfortunate when this happens. Does this ever happen to you? Somehow you get a looped little knot while you're sewing. So annoying, but As long as you stay calm, it's okay and you can get it out. See how calm I stayed and I just calmly took it out? If I got frustrated and pulled on it, guess what? I would make it tighter and that much harder to get out. You gotta stay calm when you got knots. Okay. All right, maybe I should try it just in case we don't have time to do both sewn seams. Here, I'm gonna weave in my other loose end while we're talking, and then I'm gonna try it back on, showing you each side. I think seeing them side by side will be a good comparison too. And you can, even if we don't have time to do both seams right now live, at least showing you one compared to the other will be, you'll see how much prettier this looks. Yep, I still have a little bit of my allergy still. I'm much better, but I'm getting there. Who knows, it's probably the water. Okay. All right, so we'll try this back on. Oh yeah, look at how fantastic that side looks. Let's see, I don't know if we're even how far back I have to go. Okay, can you see? Look at that sleeve. How gorgeous is that, right? So this sleeve will look this great once I do both sides. Hopefully you can see that. All right, and I'll come back now. What do you think? Do you like it? And in fact, it's another great way that self-striping yarn looks good. Both sets of the stripe in that section are slightly different, so it gives you more variation of this self-striping yarn. It looks so good. Oh, I'm glad you all like it too. Yay! Yay, wonderful. I'm so glad you like it too. Yeah, really wonderful, wonderful way and super simple. Look how quick that was too. Now, if you wanted to do it with a corset tie, you could do that as well. It would look just as pretty, and it would be convertible where you could undo it when you didn't want to wear it this way. But for me, I wanted to wear it this way permanently, so I think sewing it is perfect. And notice how invisible that seam is. Isn't that a great seam? Oh, look at my sleeve. So pretty. Look at that sleeve. I love it. Oh, so pretty. Does anybody have any questions? Excuse me. Thank you. Show you the seam up close so you can see. Beautiful, right? And you can't see the yarn at all. Yes, very versatile. Yeah, so you could make this multiple times. In one pattern, you can make it for a baby blanket, you can make it for a shawl for somebody else, and you can make it for a shrug for somebody else. And you could keep working in this pattern to make it much bigger, to make it a full-size Afghan too. Like, the pattern has lots and lots of options. Or if you wanted to start at the beginning and only go halfway, you could make a increasing triangular shawl. If you wanted to start at the halfway point and just do the decreasing section, you could do a top-down decreasing shawl. Like, there are so many different ways that you could use this pattern to make different things. You could also make these squares to join together if you wanted to make a motif style Afghan out of something like this. Lots of ways you could use this. Does anybody have any other questions? And I will extract this tutorial from today's show so that you have a handy guide for coming back and looking at the sewing technique as well. And I will embed it into the pattern page, just like I did the tutorial video, so that you have handy reference. I'm really trying to make sure that I embed all of the tutorial videos onto the pattern pages, so not only when you're looking at patterns for the first time can you see if there's tutorial videos, but you can always come back to the pattern page to find them if you can't find them on YouTube. It's 3 balls of Be So Vivid yarn, and this is color Moon Mist. And I have also been tagging videos with a little sticker, or not videos, a tagging pattern. So if you go to my pattern shop, and again, you know better, you do better, I'm working on it. I haven't always done it consistently in the past, but going forward I am. I'm tagging the patterns that have video tutorials with a little sticker that says video on them. So hopefully that helps as well. I'm trying to make things as easy and convenient as possible for everybody else. Crafting is supposed to be relaxing. It shouldn't be frustrating. So anything I can do to make the process smoother and easier and more convenient for you, I do. And if you have recommendations or suggestions for different ways that I can improve things for you, I'm always open to ideas. So don't be shy. Thanks, Roxana. All right, I don't see any more questions, so hopefully this tutorial was very understandable and maybe even empowering. I would love to see what you end up making, and definitely, please always feel welcome to share projects that you've made with my yarns and my patterns on my website. I have an awesome section that I've dreamed of having for so many years where you can, I can share what other people have made and you can see what other people have made. It's awesome. It's called Share a Project. You can find it. It's in the top. You can find it from the top bar on my homepage, and you can not only submit your own project with photos, but you can also see what everyone else has made. I think there's almost 100 projects there now. It's so fun to look and see what everyone else has made. So if you get a chance and you want to look at that, go for it. All right. Excuse me, I don't see any more questions. So thank you all so much for taking time out of your busy day to spend a few minutes here with me. I hope you enjoyed the beach, my tutorial, chatting with me and everyone else. Let us make time to create, share, and inspire today and every day. Have a wonderful day, everyone, and I'll see you tomorrow for the next episode of the Kristin Omdahl Show. Bye-bye.